Da-da. It's Pastors of Pain. I'm Father Brian O'Brien, joined by my co-host, Father Kerry Wakulich. This is a very special episode that we are just simply calling Wedding Do's and Don'ts.
Who's calling it this?
I am. So there. It is wedding season. I had a wedding last Saturday. Good times. You've had a couple. There's a lot this summer.
Yeah,
many. You're going out and about.
I think there's 14 I have this summer.
Yeah. We had 30. I mean, between you and me and Father Robert, I think there's 33.
Is that a lot?
33 weddings?
Yeah.
Over the next 12 months? I mean, there's definitely places with more. Stillwater is not we're not very big.
We're a destination wedding for holy people.
We're kind of.
Hey, if you're like, I want to do a destination wedding to God's country, well, you know what? Stillwater's full.
What it's kind of be fun is you and I have some weddings together.
What? I don't can celebrate.
Neither of us are doing the Maggie Doll Reese Toilette wedding extravaganza.
Hammerschmidt.
Father Gail's going to do that, but then we'll both be there celebrating. But then are you doing Katie Major?
I am. Are you going?
I'm going to be there.
What? No.
I'm just going to be there. I'm just celebrating.
You're going to ruin it.
As I went last week, I went to this funeral of Father Richard Beckman, who's a priest of Oklahoma City. He was up in Newkirk. So in his old age, he died at 92.
92? I told somebody he was 85.
Yeah, 92. So in the homily, Father Carson Crittenbrink, who's the pastor in Ponca City, Father Beckman used to, in his old age, would just sort of show up for Mass. He'd come in the side, sit down, go out the side. And he would often refer to himself as a potted plant.
I'm sorry, what?
He was like, I'm just going to be a potted plant over here. So he was celebrating the Mass, but just, out of the way. And that's how I plan to be at both Maggie and Katie's wedding. But anyway, it is wedding season and it's beautiful. We have, this is a little record setting. We have more Spanish weddings on the calendar right now than we've ever had, which is super fun. Super fun.
What? Really?
Yeah, I think we have 5 on the calendar at once.
Wow.
And there's way more. I think actually there was a couple last week who talked to me. So there's, I think, about to be a 6th.
What?
So it's fun. It's fun.
I'm over here a little distracted because
you're awake.
No, because I'm awake.
Oh.
Because I have all these weddings, and then I forgot one that
you forgot a wedding.
Yeah.
Please tell me you caught it before.
Yeah. I think I just did. I'm literally like realized. Oh no!
Oh, did they move it? Did they move the wedding? That gets a little confusing.
I don't think they gave me an
I had a couple. We planned a baptism, and then they moved it like 8 times. And so I had it in 3 different places on my calendar. I had to call them and be like, "Okay, when are we doing this?"
Yeah, this.
They were like, "Can we do this date?" Okay, no, and I would say, "Yeah, that's great." Okay, no, that date doesn't work. Okay, what about this date? Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay, put that down. Okay, and then 2 days later, no, that doesn't work.
Oh.
So
Awful.
That can happen a little bit with weddings.
Yeah.
You got the whiteboard going?
I do.
In your office? The wedding whiteboard?
The wedding whiteboard.
I have one.
And
I love it. I can just I just look at it and I can pray. Look at all these beautiful couples.
Uh-huh.
And then I can okay, where are we? Oh, I haven't met with them in a little while. I need to,
Yeah, I just texted this couple. I was like, how's your marriage prep going?
Yeah, and a lot of them, some of them aren't here. They're getting married here, but not here.
Yeah, this is a military couple.
Okay, let's talk about wedding do's and don'ts.
Oh, you ready?
Father Kerry and I have had a blessed life. I've been a priest as of this week, for 15 years.
I'm coming up on 12.
Amazing. There should be cake. One of the great privileges of being a priest is to be able to do people's weddings. It's really wonderful.
Unite people in the sacrament of holy matrimony.
To witness the bonds of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is a great privilege. It's hard work. Doing marriage prep takes a lot of time. I think both you and I have made it a priority in our life as priests to spend a lot of time with couples to help them in whatever way we can.
I was just typing a letter today, and every couple gets 12 to 14 hours, like individually as a couple with me. Like one-on-one time.
I'm probably 10. I'm probably 10 hours.
Yeah. Well, mine are a little more troubling than yours.
They're younger. They are younger.
Yeah.
So what they do, I mean, so if you get 10 hours with me plus the weekend retreat.
Plus NFP classes.
Plus NFP. Yeah, that's
some solid.
It's no seminary, but it's that's pretty decent. And hopefully they have received the ultimate marriage prep, which is within their families.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not always the case. And so there's some work to do. Okay. Wedding do's and don'ts. Wedding do's and don'ts. This is going to be, remember we did that episode where it was called Annoying Things Our Parishioners Do?
Yes.
Followed by a much less popular episode called Annoying Things Priests Do. We could just call this annoying things. What we can focus on the positive. Let's focus on the positive.
Okay, so the do's. The do's?
Oh, let's do the do's. Okay.
Be holy. Like,
pray. Dang it!
I always tell couples on their wedding day that there's a line that says "witnesses of divine love itself."
I should have brought my marriage book. Dang
I got it memorized.
You do not.
Dearly beloved, you have come together in this church to blank. Anyway, you're supposed to be witnesses of divine love. So the very first thing, and we talked about this on a podcast about marriage. Marriage is not just two people joining together and like taking the same last name or getting some sort of financial agreement or,
Now we can buy a couch together.
It is about becoming witnesses of divine love. So that's what you got to do.
Now our pet rabbit is both of ours.
Mm-hmm. Legally. So I would say a do for married couples.
Be holy.
Be holy. Be saints. Get ready to get canonized.
There's nothing that's got to be the goal. That marriage has eternal consequences.
Yep.
That's why we do it in the church. It's why we take it, so seriously. It's why the words of the marriage, even like the vows, we don't allow couples. It makes us, kind of mean and stingy. You don't get to write your own vows because we have the words already of what Christian marriage is, and we want that to be, put front and center.
I agree. Okay. Well, give me a do.
A do is get out in front of it. Get out in front of it. So you don't have to be, I've run into people over the years who, they're engaged for like 18 months.
Ooh.
So I'm not saying that. You certainly can be if you want. But what I think is hard on the priests, but hard on the couple and hard on the parish is show up in March and say, and we want to get married on July 4th. And it's like, okay, March is 3, April, May, June. Okay, so now we have less than 6 months. Whereas the diocese requires 6 months, unless there's exceptions. So we have a couple, Father Robert's helping a couple where they're going, she's going into the Peace Corps in July, which is really cool. Good for her. Mm-hmm. Wow, what an adventure. What a sacrifice. Holy cow. So they want to get married before she goes.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a,
bring it together.
Yeah, a shortened version. But you want to get out in front of it for a whole variety of reasons. One, because the preparation process, you want to take it seriously. It's not something to be rushed. You want to be able to have some difficult conversations, maybe that you haven't had. I think a lot of couples come in sort of thinking that, we know each other so well. We've talked about everything. And then you say, let me think of an example.
Tell me about your drug addiction.
Yeah. Okay. That would be one. You get into like, I had a couple several years ago, of like where her family like did not like him. Her family was actively telling her, don't marry him.
Whoa.
Okay, now that's not a deal breaker. You can still get married if your future in-laws hate you.
This is going to be entertaining.
But that's going to be a challenge in your marriage. If every time you go over to your wife's family's house and they're throwing daggers at you.
There's a picture of you on the dartboard, literally.
That's going to be difficult. So those kinds of things that you got to talk through. Kids, parenting, sexuality, faith. So often, kind of a Catholic marries a non-Catholic. Somebody maybe is strong in their Methodist faith and somebody's kind of weak in their Catholic faith, but they're getting married in the Catholic Church, or vice versa. Those are all things to be talked through. And it takes time. It takes time. So when you show up and it's like, just rushing it. And so it's also better. You can have kind of the date that you want. The more out in front. We have a wedding already for July 2023.
Whoa.
Well, you know what? They got their pick of Saturdays. They're the only July 2023 wedding. They're not going to be, but they're the first, and so they got to pick their date and their time because they were out in front. So that would be my do.
Okay.
Get out in front of it.
Okay, I have a do.
Do you have another do?
I have a do and a don't.
Okay.
A do. They're actually kind of conjoined. Don't be a crazy psychopath.
Oh, that's so good. That's hey, brilliant.
Just so parents, remember, this is your kid's wedding. And
not yours. Not yours.
Yeah, it's not yours. Yes, you may be financing it, but also please.
You also finance their college.
Yeah, don't be crazy.
But you didn't go to class with them.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, parents are just like, it's their show. They got to get this. So also on the do side is, young people, be kind to your parents.
Yeah, they've never done this before, generally.
Or they have, and they did it psychopath the first 5 times. And so now it's just trending in their life. But be kind to your parents because they want to do this for you and they want it to be perfect. And they're coughing up the cash.
I've seen a lot of tension. There can be some tension around wedding venues, around food, around. I think one of the biggest issues that a lot of couples face is like who to invite. Oh, it's like where do you draw the line?
Oh, remember that time I was not invited to a wedding, but you were. And then you brought.
It happens more than you think.
Whoa! I just also want to say I don't really care about that. I also want to say that you invited a deacon who did not know the bride.
Was it a COVID? It was a COVID wedding.
Deacon Alessandro.
He was assigned to me for the summer.
And there was a limited amount of people that could go.
10.
And I lost my spot for Chump Alessandro.
You watched it on live stream.
I did not.
That's the same thing.
I did not watch it.
And it's not the same.
I went to, but I did take Holly Beckman to the party.
I remember.
Yeah.
And now you're doing her wedding.
And now I'm doing her wedding. And why they're there?
She's marrying the bride's brother.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I can say this on the radio.
They told me. When I baptized Taylor and Brett's baby, little Beckett, Beckett with 2 T's, I said, like, didn't you? We were taking pictures after the baptism, and I said, like, Jake and Holly, didn't you guys like start dating at Taylor and Brett's wedding? And Jake was like, no, I asked her out, and she said no. And I was like, well,
Taylor.
But now they're engaged, and so it all
Taylor worked for me, and Taylor worked for me, and Holly also worked part time. So I was like, I got you a +1. Come on, girl.
All right, so that was the don't for the parents.
So the don't is
chill out.
Yeah, just chill out. I've had enough where it's either they're obsessed about the kids. Like, okay, everything's they're sort of crazy, or they're crazy on me, and they're calling.
You talked to the parents?
The parents have called. I had a wedding one time.
It is a rare occasion.
There was a potted plant.
Oh, we just were talking about potted plants.
And I was moving the potted plant out of the way.
Oh, no.
And I got about 20. I was in the back of the church, and I looked out.
Was this at St. John's?
No.
My place?
No, I go to a lot of different places.
Oh, different. Okay.
And I looked out there, and the bride's mom was moving it back. And it was like, no, I'm going to trip over that plant.
I'm going to sit there.
And she's like, well, I want it right here. And I said,
oh, is this your church? Oh.
Yes. I was like, do you realize that the people on the other side of the church, because this potted plant is 3 feet off the ground, it blocks the lectors.
Yeah.
And she was like, I want it here. I was like, I'm not going to fight you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway.
All right.
And so I think another do is like parents enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, and couples too. Couples too. I mean, there is not going to be another, and we know this from being ordained. I mean, it's wedding-ish.
Yeah,
it's a little more public because anybody can come to an ordination, but not everyone's just going to show up for a rando wedding.
Yeah,
but it's like you have 48 hours of like all your favorite people in one place. And so to build time in to be able to spend time with those people, take pictures with them, and visit, even just for a few minutes, I mean, it means a lot to people. I think couples don't realize how much they can kind of minister to people, of really thanking people for coming, showing really gracious hospitality. All of that can be a part of a wedding, as opposed to just show up and like give me a present.
That's right. So I tell couples at the rehearsal, I bring them up and I say, whatever happens tonight and tomorrow, forget about it. Don't worry about it. And they're like, they look and I say, this, I was having dinner with
what does that mean?
I'll tell you, I was having dinner with a Kenyan buddy of mine and Levis Kuva was cooking Kenyan food one night in the rectory in Idabel. And I said, wow, this is interesting. I said, is this what Kenyan food's like? And he goes, have you ever had Kenyan food? And I said, no, I haven't. He goes, that's how it's supposed to taste. I don't know any different than, and I tell the couples, on your wedding day, if you think something is going to go wrong, no one has been to your wedding before. They don't know any of the plans.
Yeah.
They don't know something went wrong.
Yeah, the music gets all jacked up.
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Just roll with it. Because it's supposed to be that way.
People aren't like, oh my gosh, I went to this wedding 4 years ago. Oh.
They deviated.
They had two songs as the bride and the bridesmaids were coming in, and they mixed them up. Like nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Okay, give me a do and a don't.
Okay, a do. Let's say
where?
I would say to take seriously the planning of the liturgy.
Oh.
So in the Catholic tradition, you get to pick your readings. That should be something that you do as a couple. That can be really cool. Like walking through, we have this little handy book and there's websites and stuff too, but to just walk through the readings. They're all about the beauty of marriage. And walk through them and do a little pray with them and what jumps out to you. And wow, what if we did that, That's a really cool. This is a do and a don't. I feel the need to talk about wedding coordinators.
Oh.
Can we talk about wedding coordinators?
Are we talking about your wedding coordinator or my wedding coordinator?
Okay, so there's two kinds. There's two kinds of wedding coordinators.
Remember those? Oh.
There are.
We just looked at each other.
I don't know what you're going to say.
I'm not going to say it publicly on there, but do you remember those people? And then I looked at you and there was this sort of sigh of disgust.
At that one parish?
Yes.
Okay, I do. Yeah, I do know what you're talking about. Okay. So St. Francis Xavier, we have a wedding coordinator, and she's awesome. Her name is Amy Wells. She's a dedicated parishioner.
And she's a revert.
She's a lovely person, wife, mom. Great. Also a local realtor if you're looking, if you need a little house or commercial real estate. She works for me. She works with me. We work together. And we aim to put together really beautiful, prayerful weddings. So that's one kind of wedding coordinator, is the one employed by, volunteer or paid by the parish. Mm-hmm. So then I think a lot of brides and grooms sometimes feel they need somebody else. And I really do think it's okay. A wedding coordinator to kind of coordinate the day, so there's buses and you're trying to move people from here to here, and you got makeup and you got hair and you got to get in your dress and you got to get like grandma to the church and you got to get to the reception and to the church. And, there's a lot of details. And so hiring somebody to help you, I think is totally fine. Here's what I would say about hired wedding coordinators. When it comes to the church, I generally think they should sit down. Like, we will handle the church part. I get disturbed and like a little uncomfortable and maybe even a little impatient when I'm sort of giving instructions about where people ought to be, and wedding coordinator who has never been to this parish, may or may not be Catholic, but isn't familiar with how a Catholic wedding ought to go.
Yeah.
And I say this in all humility, but like I do know. I got trained in seminary and I've been a priest for 15 years and I've done some weddings. So I know where people are supposed to go and what they're supposed to say. And so when a wedding coordinator kind of throws in and it's like, no, Father, could you like stand here? Or would you say this? Or, could you switch like what you're going to say here and what you're going to say here?
I say, step off.
No. The other thing, and you can usually kind of tell, and I'm not trying to be mean, but like you can tell by a lot of times the words that they use. So two come to mind that I have heard.
Stage?
One is the stage. Okay, now, where will you be? So like, they're trying to organize the photographers. Fine, whatever. Okay, now when he's up on the stage, when the couple's up on the stage, that's when you want to really get the picture. And I'm just like, it's not a stage. And then this is most recent. It was a little while ago, so you won't not be able to identify. They referred to the baptismal font as a cauldron.
Oh,
the wedding coordinator.
A cauldron?
The baptismal font we have at the entrance of the church. They were like, okay, no, and like, because when we come in, like the baptismal font is in your way. So you have to like go, you have to
go around it.
Well, so we always tell people like, everybody go to the right. It's more, orderly.
Yeah.
Okay, now everyone's going to go to the right of the cauldron and then down and I was just like, oh my.
The right of what?
Like, that's where we do the potions. And that's where we blow stuff up.
Yeah. Okay, I got one.
Go ahead.
Okay. Do?
Go.
Oh, no. A don't.
Yeah?
Don't forget about music.
Yeah, be intentional there too. Readings of music.
So, a DJ makes a party. I have been to enough really terrible wedding parties that you go there and you're like, there's great food and an awesome atmosphere, and the DJ stinks. It's just
that's very important to you.
I have a DJ that I give out to students, and he does not
a Stillwater DJ.
No, he's from Tulsa. His name's Sam, and I give his number out to students, and he will say yes to them. But if you can't publicly find him, he is the best DJ. I have him come to our winter ball. Anytime we have a huge event, I call Sam
the DJ.
I call DJ Sam, and I'm like, DJ Sam, I need you. I was like, Sam, I'm throwing a party. He's like, I'm there. And so he travels and does like shows and stuff like that.
The Titanic soundtrack for 2 hours.
Yeah. No. I mean, he gets out there and has fun with the kids, and it's really, I mean, a DJ makes a party. The one that just queues up a playlist on their phone, awful. So I do.
Okay.
Have a great.
I'm down.
Have some great music
with that.
and a great DJ. Don't throw a boring party.
Okay, but let's talk about the party, because I think some people think I have been to some very beautiful and fun, simple, small weddings that were not a lot of people. I think sometimes people think they have to, like, if there's not 500 people, that it's not, that it's not a great time.
Yeah.
So I think there can be small, because weddings can get stinking expensive.
Oh yeah, one of my two favorite weddings I've been to.
Do you want a wedding or you want a house?
I did my cousin's wedding in Quebec at Notre Dame de Victoire.
Oh, très bien.
Très bien. And the party was at the Chateau de something or other, this big fortress on the top. 8-course meal, liquors and just wines and all sorts of stuff. It was so awesome. It was top hats. It was beautiful.
Oh, top hats.
The party was awesome. And then I did another one in Guthrie. It was, you ready for this?
I don't know.
Chick-fil-A sandwiches, watermelon, and Natty Light, and a huge party.
And it was fun.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Like like these people spent my cousin spent probably 6 figures on their wedding.
Oh my.
And these other people did not spend 6 figures.
Right.
But like, you could have barbecue and Chick-fil-A and just cold beer and watermelon and have a really good, just like to have your friends around you. So, okay, another do and don't.
Let's talk about photographers. Similar to the wedding coordinator, the photographer should get some instruction ahead of time by the bride and groom of that this is a spiritual event. This is first and foremost a prayerful event. We try to make that clear. We try to just have we're not like overly harsh. We just have a brief conversation with the photographers about where they kind of can and can't be. I had a photographer once who wanted to come behind the altar to get the shot. So they were going to stand between the altar and the tabernacle to get the outward coming shot of the couple exchanging their vows. And I was like, So it'd be helpful for the couple to give a little, instruction to the photographer. Hey, please follow the instructions of because they don't work for me. I'm not paying them. And so they might just do something kind of, irrational in order to get the shot to make the customer happy. When in fact, then I might.
I've told Amy to put a list together.
Ban them from my church.
Well, I told Amy, I said, in Stillwater we get the same. So a lot of times
we do get the same people. It's really nice.
And I said now either A, you just keep instructing them and doing the same thing, or B, you put them on the ban list. And if they show up, I'm say, you know what? I'm sorry, you did this last time. You can't be here,
and you're out. So you got to get your paperwork in. That's important, not insignificant. I just kind of wrote down a couple of things. The party is cool and great, but the wedding itself is most important. And so focusing on the wedding itself is very, very important.
Yeah.
What else?
Dues.
Tell me.
Oh,
wait, I got one.
Oh, what? Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, you need, when you're booking your wedding, the priest and the church should be call one. So what happens a lot of times is people book the venue, then come back to the church and say, we have to get married at, and, there might be something else. There might be another wedding. There might be, for like a quinceañera. There might be...
You may be out of town.
All kinds of things. Yeah, I might be out of town. And so it's important. I mean, you can make that call within 10 minutes, like to the church, what dates are available. And we'll give you 50 dates. I mean, if you want it. And then book the venue. So I think that leads to some hurt feelings sometimes, or like people think you don't care about them because the date that they chose without asking you is the date they want to get married, but I'm gone. I'm on vacation with my family, or I have another wedding, or I don't know. What about OSU football games? Should people get married on OSU football games Saturdays?
Oh my gosh,
we have 2 this fall.
On game day?
On game days.
Who does that?
We told them, and I really don't mind. My motto.
Where are you going to get a hotel?
My motto is sacraments before sports.
Yeah, but where are you going to get a hotel?
I'm a big sports fan. I'm a bigger sacrament fan.
Hotel. Where are you going to get a hotel?
It's going to be hard. Yep.
Wow. I always tell couples, I say, check the OSU sports calendar. You know what? One year, this family they were texting me during the wedding asking for scores. They were like, is this really going this way? They were big OSU fans. And they're big, huge OSU fans. So their niece decided to get married on Bedlam. Ooh. I was like, why would you do that?
That's called courageous.
That's called dumb. This priest told me one time in Louisiana, he said, this girl comes in and says, Father, I just know what everybody says I can't be there to my wedding. And he says, well, what day does it? He looks at his calendar. He's the priest at LSU, and he said,
oh, no.
Hey, sweetie, I'm not going to even be there. That's LSU Bama weekend. She's like, I know, I made a mistake. So she had to change everything and send out new invites, and then people showed up. But when your priest is not going to be there because something important's going on.
Here's something interesting. Did you know that deacons can do weddings?
I did know that deacons can do weddings.
I think a lot of people don't know that.
Well,
there's something.
Yeah.
So it can't be mass. If you're having a deacon, you'd have to have a wedding outside of mass.
That's another do. Get a wedding mass. A wedding mass. Like, make the first thing that you do.
If you're both Catholic.
Yeah. Well, I'm having a wedding mass in Austin.
No, you can. I mean, you can have, for a Catholic and a non-Catholic, you can have a mass. But I'm 50-50 on that. I mean, I wouldn't push it.
Yeah, Mary Arberg and Ricky.
Yeah,
he's not Catholic, and they had a.
But they've been around the church a lot.
Yeah,
I mean that family.
You have to. But if you're Catholic, you should have a wedding mass. They're beautiful.
Yeah, no, I agree. So you want to be on time for things. You want to get your paperwork in. You want to communicate a lot with the church. We're here to help. I mean, if you have questions about the readings. The questions about the music, we're happy to take those. You call us, you text us. We have wedding coordinators for that reason.
I do not.
But isn't somebody going to run weddings? That's the new St. John's.
I have no idea. We haven't got that far down the list yet.
I think you'll have to. I mean, somebody.
We're going to
a student or
Because I told him I'm gonna stop doing weddings at New St. Francis.
Oh boy.
I know.
Oh boy. Okay, well anyway, there's a little wedding do's and don'ts. Maybe we left something out. Well, let me know. I'll be the one at the beginning of Mass. I'll be the one next to the cauldron, heading up to the stage. That's where you'll find me. We are the Pastors of Pain. We're so glad that you joined us, and we hope you'll join us next week because we're coming to you 52 days a week. 52 weeks
a year?
Oh, boy. Okay, everyone, have a great day. God bless. Happy summer.
Peace.